right, welcome everybody to Flat Earth Nation. It is a Flat Earth Nation. Don't let them tell you anything else. I just got some new software here, and I'm trying to get back. I've used it before, but it's been a while. It's one where I can make shorter videos. Look at this. I want to study tonight. You know, this is a preview of what I want to study tonight, along with Paul's Gospel. Go into, you know, this is one of those things that, let's see, if you stare at it for a little while, let's see if this one can jump out at me. All right, it's got, it looks like a grasshopper or something like a bug on a fish. It's got two big wings. Almost directly in the center is the back one off on the left side of the screen, and then a bug head on the right. There's a stereotropic viewing, 3D viewing. Let's see if this is a mystery picture or is it a 3D rendering. Okay, this one shows like two Christmas presents sitting on top of each other, but they're offset so that you can see, you know, all corners. They're not lined up. So it's the 3D stereographic. And these things, you know, I got onto studying this stuff by looking at a video that I'm going to just show you a few minutes of, because it doesn't have to be that short of a video. This is one where, you know, I'm just studying the deal, but you might have seen it. I was showing the videos of Flat Fact. Very intriguing and provocative thoughts about these were really 3D. And not only that, the glass photographs that these were taken on and some of the ultra high definition photographs that she was finding opened up a whole new world of research for me this afternoon. And if you're ever looking for anything, these whole size cameras, whole sky cameras, once again, you know, 1905 they were invented. Took an azimuth reading, that's a, you know, with a quarter of the spinning ball vortex of your magnetic poles, not the earth. Stereo display is something maybe we'll, you know, I've looked into it before. And one of the developers of this stereotropic, as I was sliding around in it, the next thing you know, I run across once again, Charles Wheatstone was in on it. And we just studied the Wheatstone Bridge and how without him, they never would have had quantum physics. That's right. He's the guy that presented in 1843 an account of several new processes for determining the constants of a voltaic current. And without him, 100 years later, they wouldn't have been able to drop that fat man and little boy and save the world. But he was really into this type of cryptology of where, yeah, if you want to get a message from me, you put page A here, B here, page C here, and D here, and then you look at it through these lenses by putting your head right here, and what you see is my secret message to you. Well, you know what, Wheatstone, we'll look at him, a nickel prison, something else they were, you know, invented in the 1828s, that where would we be without it today? You know, hopefully these short videos will help people. And the bed of the glass that you know, when you talk about what these need if you're going to get a prism to make it, it has to be on a bed of selenite. And since we had such a fun time studying desert rose and the fact that the New Age seems to be into it so much, I thought that, you know, maybe it'd be worth looking into it, see who likes it. Is it good that it's silky, fibrous, and chatient? Well, here we have the problem. We'll get right back. I want to do that last. Here we have some more answers about stereo. So let's check in.
If you find this hard to believe, you wouldn't be alone. When the experts from Australia contacted UNESCO for World Heritage listing, the experts at UNESCO also didn't believe that a photograph of this size could possibly exist. The 19th century photos were discovered in Australia in 2013. From what I can find, were only released to the public in 2017. I have many images from the 19th century that are incredibly crisp and sharp. Some of the images are so crisp and sharp that one could think they were photographed this morning. The resolutions I have of some of these photographs are higher than that of this video recording. This image of Dresden is particularly interesting. The clarity is amazing and we see covered wagons in the street. Civil War photos that look like they were photographed yesterday. And many, many photos of empty cities, also in sync.
All right, now the next person that I show you the end of his video is going to be Static in the Attic. And you know that he's shown these pictures and people go, where are all the people? And he's explaining it that they didn't have this type of technology then, people. Don't you understand? This person had to stand there frozen in time. And he was using some of these pictures frozen in time, or he would have been blurred out. There could have been 100 people passing by here, but since he didn't move, the photograph picked him. Not so. As we found out, these pictures found in Australia in 2013 have higher resolution than your P900 by far.
Seemingly such high definition. And from what I was ever taught or told should not have been possible in the 19th century. Upon researching this discovery in Australia, I was led to find more photographic collections, how they were done, and then I was able to follow the technique back to the 17th century and to 17th century video. In 2013, photographs of 19th century Australia were found in a backyard garden shed in Chatswood, Victoria, Australia. The collection is named after the man who commissioned the photographs. The Bernard Otto Holterman collection comprises 3,500 glass photographic negative plates. UNESCO was contacted about the two largest images, and as quoted by Margaret Riley, Curator of Research and Discovery, State Library of New South Wales, UNESCO did not believe that the photographic plates could possibly exist, and now 3 of these images have been recognised by UNESCO as the world's largest 19th century photographic negatives. So how big are they? Each of the 3,500 negatives are glass, all but 3 of the glass negatives are 8 millimeters thick and 1 meter high and 1 meter wide. 2 of the negatives are 1.3 meters in width, and the largest being a colossal 1.6 meters wide and weighing in at a whopping 30 kilos. So question, who is making glass that big and of such...
Who's making negatives that are 4 feet by 3 feet? The negative, how much could you blow that up? Everybody at the Coliseum could have got a first row seat and say, look, here's the arch of a window that's underground.
Quality for photographic negatives in the 19th century. The largest photographic plate in the collection is the Sydney Harbour, and it comprises 2 plates at 1.6 metres each. The image created is 20,000 pixels long, weighing in at about 3 gigabytes. which is 3,000 megabytes. I gather this would be an uncompressed TIFF file. Let's get a comparison. My Nikon P9...
Yeah, well, I can do a comparison for you. Today, as you know, I recently just got a new computer. And let's see. I don't know where they ended up. I think I put them under documents. So I had a flash drive.
.900 camera has a maximum file resolution of 6,
and it's 2.3 gigabytes for all of these pictures and files, PDFs. This was 2.3 gigabytes. And all of those folders have tons of pictures on them. Each one you click on. Over 400 pictures and files. There's my son playing at a local band in a church. There he is right there. He played the drums. So we got that going for us. You know, that's how much these, you know, more resolution than a P900. Let's see some of the, remember the door guides where you, oh no, you know, you had to stay still.
To be false. Let's look at a few sizes down from the colossal camera and go to a giant camera. This camera is stated to be manufactured in 1930. It is a mahogany Hunter Penrose 20 by 24 inch process camera. So clearly this photographic process continued after the official narrative states. Here is the Queensland Government Cartography Department in Australia photographing maps with one of these Hunter Penrose cameras. In this image we see a very large glass plate being quality checked. Then we have some very large format camera examples a little later in time. Here is
that would have been World War II. Parties.
Where to start? Slides under there, slides there, slides over there, slides in here. Oh, I found them all over the country as I traveled around and different antique collector shows and whatever. And this probably wouldn't impress anybody nowadays. However, you go back 100 and some odd years ago, and when you saw something like that on the screen, moving in color, everybody was, ooh, ah.
And now all of they've done is backwards engineer everything to where we end up vehicles for their, experiments. And now, this is Static in the Attic's video. And another one of, this isn't the one that's dealing with how much, you can't trust the cameras. Oh my goodness, don't trust the cameras. But here's what I think is the problem for the modern truther, is that of all the cognitive dissonance, because in this video he talks about Mudflood's bad, but there was a reset. We don't know anything, but we just have to, look at things different and harder and know that they're lying. But one thing we can rest assured on is that one time America was a light on the hill, and that's our history, and we can be great again. Well, at least that's what it sounds like to me. You make up your own minds about what he's saying.
1860, America was the first and freest country of its kind ever. They're thugs. So no, I'm not going to support a theory that makes the controllers all powerful and us little weaklings that can't do anything about it, because that's not what I'm about and that's not what I'm here for. If people were actually studying history instead of just looking at pictures of old black and white videos, you'd realize that from 1800 to 1860, America was the first and freest country of its kind ever. I mean, Sweden actually copied what we were doing here in America. It was a revolutionary thing until the free people of America got defeated in the Civil War, the War of Secession. All they wanted to do was walk away from that system. The Rothschilds and the Dutch East India Company. That's who was actually backing the North. In America, they actually cut out immigration from 1800 to 1860 and said, no, look, we're good. We got our country. You guys stay the hell out. It wasn't until after the Civil War that you had the mass importations into this country. But that's real history. There's things to be learned.
Right. And that's the history. Where did it go? So let me close with that. It seems to be that the easiest thing to do is admit there's something wrong, as long as it's not the United States. And whether or not content provider, Static in the Attic, knows, that is the narrative that is going to, is leading to black against white. Why don't you understand? We didn't want to make you slaves before. Why are you fighting this and that? When that's not our true history. None of the manifest destiny things were true. Our cities were not like F Troop or the days of whatever happened to Randolph Scott. That was propaganda, Static. It never was like that where men were men and watch me, I'm gonna do what I can and America's great. Keep all the immigrants out for 60 years. That'll be great. 1848, you never saw that immigrant wave of what happened. No immigrants between then. Passed laws. They're talking about, people are talking and they're hoping they're right. We can't do that. Not on this flat earth nation. Because Mudflood was Armageddon. I'm never going to tell you anything else, because right now there's only one way to heaven, and that's through the Bible and understanding our history from that perspective. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho.